Good evening. It's Wednesday, October 22nd. This is CTV News at 6, making news tonight. Months of agony. We hear from the grandmother of the two missing Nova Scotia children. Then uncovering violations. Inspections at fuel stations in New Brunswick have brought to light dozens of issues.
A mild and breezy Thursday ahead with temperatures set to cool heading into and through the weekend.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Stephanie Sikos.
Thanks for joining us. Todd Battis is off tonight. It's been almost 6 months since 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their Nova Scotia home. Tonight, we are hearing from their paternal grandmother for the first time about their disappearance. CTV's Hafsa Arif has this story.
Lily is 6 years old. Jack is, well, he's going to be 5 years old this month.
Belinda Gray can barely speak through the tears, describing the children she hasn't seen in years.
The last time they were here, they were still basically babies. Lily was 4. She was such a carbon copy of me. She copied everything I did. And Jack was more sober. He was just crawling around the floor, learning to walk.
It's been 2 years since Gray last held Jack and Lily Sullivan, and months since anyone has seen them at all.
Your grandchildren are what you leave this world. They're a part of you.
When Lily and Jack went missing, Gray says she joined the search herself.
We started working our way up through the woods along a brook. And then we crossed over the brook. And we started coming back down through the woods.
For Gray, hope quickly turned to suspicion, especially after their mother left the area.
When I found out Malaya left, I knew there was no sense searching anymore. It started making me think, I don't think these babies wandered off.
She hopes police can bring her closer to the truth.
I hold them all accountable. I don't know how 2 kids can go missing.
RCMP say they combed through every possible lead, but Gray feels police could have acted faster.
I don't care what the criteria is for an Amber Alert. When you have vulnerable children missing, it should be an automatic alert.
Every day, Gray checks her phone, hoping for a message, a post, a headline, anything saying they've been found.
To see if there's any new family members coming out speaking. And that's off and on all day. That goes on right until I go to bed.
Along the 40-kilometer stretch in Lansdowne Station where 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan lived, cadaver dogs searched the woods and trails just a few weeks ago. RCMP say they came up empty-handed, but families say they're still holding out hope the children will be found soon. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Upper Musquodoboit.
And a reminder, for more on this story, you can visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Fundraising efforts are underway for the families of the 2 children who died in a boating incident Saturday near West Caledonia, Nova Scotia. CTV's Emma Convey has more on the community rallying behind them.
Flags are at half-mast at 2 schools in Fall River, Nova Scotia, Ashley Jefferson Elementary and Georges P. Vanier Junior High. This comes after the tragic drowning deaths of 2 girls, both under the age of 10.
This is not a criminal investigation. This was a search and rescue effort. We are making attempts to locate the boat, the flat-bottomed canoe with the motor. Whether that is still even afloat, it's hard to say because they did take on water. The boat did overturn.
This happened Saturday when a 45-year-old man and 3 children were out on Lake Rosignol. Conditions on the lake worsened. The boat overturned after taking in water.
Lake Rosignol is quite a large lake. The conditions had deteriorated since the man and the children had gone out in their flat-bottomed canoe. And with this past drought this summer, all lake levels are low. So that meant a lot of exposed rocks, which really hindered those boat operations trying to get to their location.
The man performed life-saving measures on 2 of the children. The other child remained on the phone with 911 to help direct them to their location. Once emergency crews, including a Cormorant helicopter, arrived, the 4 were transported to hospital. In the days that followed, fundraising efforts were set up to support the families. Social media identifies the two as Lucy Cable Monroe and Adeline Gull. Counseling therapist Tara Field says it can be difficult to explain tragedies like this to younger children.
We don't really get a grasp of death is final until we're 5, 6 years old, depending. So children that are younger than that, they may repeat things and say, I can't wait to see this person again, and this person's going to come pick me up. And a lot of it's imaginary, and that's okay. It's okay. We don't need to correct them because eventually they will be able to process it.
Counseling therapist Tara Field explains that after a loss like this, it can take family members about 3 to 6 months, maybe longer, for the shock to wear off. At that point, it can actually be harder for them. She says it's never too late to grieve, so anytime you're struggling to cope with everyday tasks or even just need to talk it through, she encourages people to seek out those services. Stephanie.
Thanks, Emma. CTV's Emma Convey reporting live tonight in the News Center. New Brunswick is continuing its phased approach at inspecting all its fuel stations across the province. The effort it's making stems from a massive diesel spill at an Irving gas station near Woodstock. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
Almost 200,000 liters of diesel fuel spilled into the ground at this Irving gas station in Woodstock before it was discovered in December of last year. And questions remain on why it wasn't found sooner.
We still don't have an explanation of what happened there. The investigation that's been carried out is still secret.
The spill sparked province-wide inspections of fuel stations. So far, 91 sites have been looked at, an effort that's uncovered 47 violations, including unlicensed sites, unregistered tanks, and improper storage tank labeling.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me.
Opposition leader Glenn Zafoy says the number of violations could be a sign that the checks and balances of this particular industry have been neglected.
That's entirely possible that this has existed for time. The key to this whole thing, though, is that it happened under the current government.
David Kuhn says the province should know better. A fuel leak at an Irving gas station in the 80s caused explosions, which sparked better oversight for the industry.
Which led to the minister of the day saying, never again, we're going to make sure that we've got the right legislation, the right regulations, and the right enforcement, and the ball was dropped.
The Tim Hortons location that sits beside the gas station only reopened to the public this month after being closed since the leak was found last December. CTV News asked the company if the owners of that location have been compensated. Tim Hortons Media Relations responded only saying they could have opened sooner, but chose to remain closed until it was assured service could continue in the long term with the same high standards set for all Tim Hortons restaurants. It's worth noting, Stephanie, I did speak to a resident who lives very close to this gas station. He says he's frustrated because every time he tries to get information about the health and safety of his property or well water, he's been told by the Department of Environment to go to Irving Oil. Now, I did ask to speak to the Environment Minister on this today, but he was not made available. Stephanie.
Thanks, Laura. CTV's Laura Brown reporting tonight from the legislature in Fredericton. More than 150 part-time faculty at Mount St. Vincent University in Halifax walked off the job today at noon. The union representing part-time teaching staff said talks broke down last night over pay, benefits, and job security. Members say they are struggling to make ends meet and claim the university won't discuss health benefits and pension plans unless instructors first accept the current offer on wages. The university says the campus will remain open, but classes taught by part-time staff will be canceled. There's a live look at Lunenburg, where it is a pleasant 16 degrees. Let's get our first look at the weather forecast, and for that, we go to CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. Kaylin.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the rain has shown up in Lunenburg quite yet, but it will be there shortly. There's already some rain and a few thunderstorms in the southwest of Nova Scotia. I wanted to begin first with an update on rainfall amounts that we're seeing with that first weather system, which mostly arrived Monday night into Tuesday. So this does not include the additional rain that has come down for parts of the Maritimes today or the further wet weather to come as we move through tonight. But you can see that first system brought in a general 5 to 15 millimeters of rain, though there were some areas that finished a little bit lower than the 5 5-millimeter mark, and hopefully those locations will pick up a little bit more wet weather as we move through tonight, because we know the entirety of the Maritimes, the entire region needs more rain. Taking a look at things on radar and satellite. So here's the band of rain, showers, and a few thunderstorms within it. It's across New Brunswick. It's into the southwest of Nova Scotia. It is progressing towards the east. It'll be filling into areas like Lunenburg as well as towards Halifax over the next couple of hours. And then as we continue to move through tonight, it comes across Prince Edward Island and eastern areas of Nova Scotia. It's part of a weather front that's being pushed across the maritime region off of a low pressure system that's currently centered over southern areas of Quebec. How much more rain can we expect to get out of this? Well, areas that just end up with the lighter rain or showers could pick up rainfall amounts as little as around 2 to 5 millimeters. Other parts of the Maritimes that have one of those thunderstorms or downpours move directly over could pick up some localized rainfall amounts of between 10 and 20 millimeters of rain. Those type of rainfall amounts look like they will be most widespread in the province of New Brunswick. Temperatures as the system approaches, fairly mild for an October evening, mostly around the low to mid-teens for New Brunswick, mid-teens for Prince Edward Island, mid to high teens for Nova Scotia. Winds do remain a little bit more on the breezy side for both tonight and tomorrow. And Stephanie, I'll update you on that when I'm back a little bit later on.
Thanks, Ken. We'll see you in about 15 minutes with that full forecast. Repair work continues on vandalized monuments at Elmwood Cemetery in Moncton. As we reported Friday, staff discovered more than 40 headstones had been knocked over when they arrived for work. Many of the damaged stones are well over 100 years old. Staff have been able to put some back up, but roughly 25 remain on the ground. Around $2,500 has been donated to help with the repairs.
The outpouring of support and the level of interest has really expanded, and it's kind of heartfelt that that many people are concerned and disgusted with the level of destruction, I guess.
Roger says it's the worst vandalism he's ever seen at Elmwood Cemetery and estimates all of the repairs will cost between $15,000 to $20,000. Police say the investigation continues. A popular trail in Eastern Passage suffered some fire damage earlier this week. A section of the wooden boardwalk at McCormick's Beach next to Fisherman's Cove was burned Monday night. Part of the grassland was also scorched. Regular visitors to the 1.2-kilometer-long boardwalk were shocked to see the damage, which some point out will limit who can enjoy the trail.
It's very popular and it's ground level, so a lot of people with walkers come here and walk. How are they going to get around this?
Those responsible should be held accountable. If this fire had got out of control, it could have burnt part of the McNabb's Island, Lawler's Island, if the wind was in the right direction.
There is no word yet on the cause. Signs at the beginning of the trail indicate campfires are not allowed at any point along the boardwalk or nearby beach. A new report out today suggests young nurses are leaving the profession at an alarming rate, with some of the most dire findings in our region. The details now from CTV's Nick Moore.
For every 100 nurses under the age of 35 who enter the field in New Brunswick, 62 end up leaving the profession. That's according to a study by the Montreal Economic Institute. Nova Scotia saw a rate of 57 young nurses leave for every 100 who entered the profession, with 47 leaving on Prince Edward Island. New Brunswick has the second highest rate in the country, only behind Newfoundland and Labrador, which had 98 leave the profession for every 100 who joined.
We're not able to retain these young nurses, and that creates a problem both now in terms of being able to provide the care that patients need, but also in the future, because the young nurses of today are the experienced nurses of tomorrow.
That is concerning. Why recruit or why train nurses if people are leaving? And so we are doing a very good job at bringing in more nurses with 2 new nursing schools, new spot-setter nursing schools.
New Brunswick Health Minister Dr. John Dornan also says the distribution of nurse retention payments over the last year, $10,000 in December and $5,000 in May, are important tools to improve that number.
But work environment is the most important. Nurses sometimes leave because they're burnt out. And they're burnt out because there's too much work on them per nurse, per shift. So if we recruit more nurses, have more nurses on nurses' units emerge, ICU, the floors, people will be more inclined to stay.
A Canadian Federation of Nurses Union survey this year found that over 1/3 of its membership had mandatory overtime, and that 60% experienced some form of violence or abuse while at work.
Nurses have been saying it for years, I might say even decades, that the working conditions are not sustainable. And then we're seeing the results of this.
According to the study, all 4 Atlantic provinces are above the national average of 40 young nurses leaving for every 100 who enter the profession. Nick Moore, CTV News, Fredericton.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
A whale sanctuary project proposed along Nova Scotia's eastern shore received its long-awaited lease of land and water near Sherbrooke. The 20-year land lease will allow the organization to begin construction on what's being described as North America's first coastal refuge for captive whales. The Whale Sanctuary Project says the Houston government approved a 20-year lease for 83 hectares of land and sea near an ocean inlet in Wine Harbor. The group plans to build an ocean enclosure with nets to welcome 8 to 10 beluga whales that they hope can come from the now shuttered Marineland theme park in Niagara Falls. New numbers released today show ridership was down significantly aboard the Cat Ferry, which operates between Yarmouth and Bar Harbor, Maine. A total of 39,745 passengers used the vessel this year. That number is down by 10,000 from 2024. The president and CEO of Bay Ferries points to political turmoil between Canada and the United States as the reason for the decline in people using the ferry, particularly Canadians avoiding travel south of the border.
The service was used this year. 82% of the utilization of the service was used by Americans. So coming or going on the service, and the remaining 18% was Canadians.
The Cat completed 119 runs this year. The province and Bay Ferries are entering the final year of their contract in 2026. Mark Wilson expects negotiations will begin later this fall after numbers from an economic impact study are complete. For years, there sat a gaping hole in the heart of Uptown Saint John, left by the demolition of the former Woolworths building. Not only is the hole now filled, but walls are now going up for a 12-story high-rise, which officials say will transform the area. CTV's Avery McCrae has that update.
It's a sight some folks in Saint John thought they would never see.
We've been waiting for it for so long. It's great news.
Walls are now going up for the first floor of a 12-story high-rise at the top of King Street. Speaking with CTV in early 2024, developer Percy Wilbur said the building will have around 180 living units with commercial opportunities on the main floor right across from King Square.
King Square is and should be our premier address. It's an iconic piece of property. It's important to get that layout created up there around the park. So it's going to be wonderful to have more people using the park up there. It's really great.
In 2021, the former Woolworths building was demolished on this site, and it wasn't until late 2024 work finally began on the new building.
Every couple, 2 to 3 weeks, I believe, you'll see probably another story move forward. It's a building that will go up quite fast from our understanding.
Once completed, Sears says the building will bring new life and vibrancy to the Uptown.
It's going to put 150 new homes in the Uptown. It's going to bring more than 30 affordable units, which are desperately needed, and it's going to add to the skyline. Not a lot of projects will add to the skyline like this project will.
The first tenants are expected to be able to move in at some point in 2026. Avery McCrae, CTV News, Saint John.
Still to come, we'll see rain this evening in the Maritimes. Kalen returns with his full forecast. But next, taking the classroom on the road.
Heartwarming to see young kids that enthusiastic about getting out and doing this.
How students at a Moncton school are honoring veterans and getting an important history lesson in the process. That story is next. Welcome back. For the third straight year, a group of students in Moncton had the privilege of participating in a ceremony and visiting the graves of those who served their country. CTV's Derek Haggett was there.
Students from Sunnybury Middle School came to Elmwood Cemetery this morning to honor Canada's veterans. The students placed over 800 Canadian flags on headstones of veterans throughout Moncton's oldest cemetery.
It's really heartwarming to see young kids that enthusiastic about getting out and doing this.
Veterans use maps to locate all of the graves of former service members. Many of them fought in the First and Second World Wars.
You can't forget them, what they've done for our country. We have the privileges now because of what these men did years ago, some not so long ago.
The annual ceremony takes place 3 weeks from Remembrance Day, an early history lesson for the kids.
I talked to one of the veterans. It's just very nice. It just makes you think of all the people who have given their lives and were willing to give their lives.
It was a very exciting experience because my brother is now in the Army, so it feels proud to be part of Canadian Army, so it feels pretty good.
The people who are the veterans fought for us in war, and they saved our lives.
After about 90 minutes or so, the students marched past the graves of Canadian heroes and went back to their school.
Today was really fun. I'm happy I got to look at and see the people who fought for this country.
A great lesson learned. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Still to come, a pleasant but breezy October day ahead for tomorrow. Kaylin will have all the details when we return. There's a live look at Charlottetown right now. Breezy on the island. In fact, 2 ferry crossings, the 6 p.m. from Wood Islands and the 7:30 from Caribou, have been canceled due to wind and canopy.
Yeah.
We're seeing some windy conditions this evening, seeing some rainy conditions as well.
It's all because of this front that's moving in from the west. It's got those southwest winds with it. They are blustery. I'm not surprised that it's impacted some of the marine travel conditions. And the winds will be diminishing a little bit for tomorrow, but they'll still be breezy for the maritime region. And of course, as you mentioned, we've got some wet weather that's making its way through. We'll get back to that in a moment. Let's take a quick look, though, at an update on another very windy weather system, but this one is far down in the Caribbean. This is Tropical Storm Melissa, maximum sustained winds near 85 kilometers per hour. Now, Melissa is expected to sort of meander in the Caribbean over the next several days, but there are some concerns for a number of the Caribbean nations, including Jamaica, where it is possible that storm could eventually approach or get close to as a hurricane. So this will be something they continue to monitor over the upcoming days. Obviously, in the long-range forecast, with it sort of just sitting in that general position in the Caribbean, there's no risk to us here in the Maritimes or Atlantic Canada. Taking a look at weather conditions across the country, it's raining right now at Vancouver, 10 degrees being reported. Lots of sunshine, though, in Alberta, 14 at Edmonton and 13 at Calgary. We've got 13 in Saskatoon and 5 degrees, so it's cooler at Winnipeg right now. Cloudier conditions being reported. Cool up north, Whitehorse sitting at 4, and Yellowknife sitting at 2 degrees. Iqaluit right now, chilly at -1. The same weather system that is pushing some wet weather in our direction this evening and tonight for the Maritimes is bringing some areas of rain and showers across parts of southern Ontario, as well as areas of Quebec, of course. 14 degrees right now at Fredericton, rain being reported, 15 in Halifax, 16 at Charlottetown, and 9 at Saint John's. So general area of rain and showers, but it does have some isolated small thunderstorms with it, so some downpours are possible. That continues to move west to east as we head through this evening and tonight. Late this evening, near midnight, coming across Prince Edward Island, northern and central areas of mainland Nova Scotia, and then in the early morning hours of Thursday across Cape Breton. In behind it for tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud expected, breezy southwest winds, and there may be some isolated showers that develop for parts of New Brunswick as we make our way through Thursday afternoon, and a lower chance of some spotty showers popping up afternoon into early evening around the Annapolis Valley of Nova Scotia and around the Minas Basin areas, Cumberland, Colchester counties, possible as well in western Prince Edward Island. Winds for tomorrow will be out of the southwest. They will have some gusts between 20 and 50 kilometers per hour. The southerly winds continue to keep temperatures on the slightly milder side for this far into the month of October. So most low temperatures tonight for the Maritimes won't be much cooler than around 8 to 12 degrees. And in fact, some eastern areas of Nova Scotia, parts of Cape Breton could have some lows tonight that hold in the range of 12 to 15. Highs for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick. In the northwest, between 11 and 14 degrees. In the northeast, mostly between 14 and 16, including 16 at Miramichi. Fredericton tomorrow with a high near 16, 15 at Saint John, and 17 degrees for Moncton in the southeast. Prince Edward Island on Thursday. Temperatures pretty mild. Highs of 15 to 17 degrees. The mix of sun and cloud. You will notice those breezy southwest winds, though. In Cape Breton, the high temperatures 15 to 19 around the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia. Most of the highs will be in the high teens and near 17 degrees on the eastern shore. In through northern and central parts of the province, 17 for Amherst, Truro, and the city centers Halifax and Dartmouth, 16 at around Chester and Lunenburg. Near Bridgewater for tomorrow, 18 degrees, 17 for Shelburne, 15 at Yarmouth, and then in the Annapolis Valley, highs near 17 degrees, 15 at Digby. In the extended forecast, there will be a cooling trend as we move towards and through the upcoming weekend. Friday's still pretty pleasant for New Brunswick, a mix of sun and cloud, highs around the low to mid-teens. But then Saturday and Sunday, high temperatures, high single digits and low teens. So definitely cooler conditions for the weekend ahead and into the start of next week. Mostly sunny skies expected on Tuesday and Wednesday. For Nova Scotia, in the outlook, coming up on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, high temperatures around the mid-teens, and then low teens in the weekend forecast. So it'll be cooling down. Cloudy periods for Sunday. A little bit chilly to start next week, but some sunnier conditions expected on Tuesday and Wednesday. And finally, for Prince Edward Island, coming up on Friday, mix of sun and cloud, high temperatures near 14, and then cools to 12 on Saturday with cloudy periods. Same thing goes for Sunday with high temperatures near 10 degrees. Cloudy periods on Monday with highs near 10, a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday. Again, high temperatures near 10 degrees, which is basically seasonable for this time of the year for Prince Edward Island. And then on Wednesday, sunnier conditions and a high near 12. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin, and we'll check in with you later for the wake-up weather. Next, we'll talk about new research bringing together farming and artificial intelligence. And we also have this story.
Hi, my name's Allegra Swanson. I'm the Executive Director of Music Nova Scotia. We've got Nova Scotia Music Week in Yarmouth coming up. Learn more about the event.
Okay, so we're back at it. Virgin Radio's 5K a day, giving you a chance to win $5,000 daily.
Get your keywords starting with us tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Plus, get your shot at Discovery Center passes to the 19 and up Halloween party. Good luck.
You've heard the saying, there's an app for that. Well, if you have ever wanted to know what's on the minds of cows, well, now there's an app for that. Created by a Dalhousie University researcher, the hope is the app could help create smarter, more profitable farms. To talk about that, we're joined now by Suresh Nitharajan, Associate Professor with a joint appointment in the faculties of Computer Science and Agriculture. Thank you for speaking with us tonight.
Good afternoon.
First, Suresh, tell us about this app and why you thought it was important to create.
It's our best friends. They do hold grudges. They get anxious, excited, sometimes even jealous. And here's the amazing part. They have been telling us all this the whole time. We just were not listening until now. That's where Moola comes in. It's the first app that listens to cows, literally, and helps us translate their emotional states through sound.
And so tell us about that. How does it work? How is it doing these translations?
We recorded over 1,000 hours of real-born audio from a dozen dairy farms across Atlantic Canada. We put a bunch of sophisticated instruments, field recorders, and sound recording equipments at feeding lanes, milking parlors, water troughs, resting areas, etc. Then we use trained artificial intelligence model to recognize the patterns in each of these calls. So the app contains more than 300 vocalizations across 45 categories, from distress calls and feeding dissatisfaction to maternal communication and even playful moves. Think of it like your phone's notification sounds. A cow has an "I'm hungry" moo. It also has "Where's my baby" moo by the mother cow. That's my spot moo. And yes, even life is good moo, based on the contentment, the positive and the negative emotions they go through. The different categories and the calls have been cataloged, acting as a Duolingo, a dictionary of variety of calls in the app.
So Suresh, how does this improve both animal welfare and farming?
There are a variety of real-time applications. For example, Canadians increasingly want to know, where does my food come from? Was the animal treated well? Moolog helps the farms to show they are actively monitoring the welfare. It's transparency through technology, empathy backed by data. A stressed cow today may be a diseased cow tomorrow. So the app also helps to connect the climate science. Stressed cows emit more methane. Calm, healthy cows emit less. So understanding emotion is not just about welfare. It's also about reducing emissions and improving sustainability. With over 1 billion cattle across globally, imagine if everyone could tell the farmers exactly what she needs, when she needs it, then we have less disease, less waste, happier animals, that's smarter, greener farming. Moreover, it also improves the empathy and the bonding between the animal caretaker through better understanding of the individual needs through bioacoustics and vocalizations of these dairy cows. So Moolog is not really an app. It's a blueprint for the future of farming. We gave cows a voice. Now it's up to us to listen, because cows have been trying to tell us something for thousands of years. Trust me, they do have opinions.
So how accurate is this? What kind, you did speak about the types of sounds you're recording. So yeah, how accurate are these noises?
So we call them as noises, but there are different meaning behind it. Every moo is a message. We have cataloged them. We have also, using animal behavior scientists and ethologists, we have clearly put the context behind it. What is the emotion and the meaning behind each of these calls? In addition, with the help of natural language processing, semantics and linguistics, we were able to decode what exactly they are trying to say. We classify the emotions into positive, neutral, and negative. If they are positive, they demonstrate playful behavior. They are more contented. If they are negative, they go through certain disease or pain or discomfort. So each of those energy is buried behind those calls. So we are able to classify them, understand the amplitude, pitch, frequency, and energy behind each of these calls, and group them and classify them. So it's not really a guesswork. It is indeed a pure science.
Well, we will have to leave it at that for tonight. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Suresh Nitharajan of Dalhousie University. We'll take a short break now. More news when we return. And the Lifeline tonight, how climate change is impacting the mental health of Canadians. CTV's Amanda Debison has more.
New studies are helping to shed light on the extent Canadians feel climate change is impacting their mental health. A national study published in the academic journal Nature Mental Health suggests 2.3% of people in Canada experience climate change anxiety at a level causing meaningful distress and disruption. It also suggests Indigenous people have the highest prevalence of severe climate anxiety of any group studied. A second peer-reviewed study found 37% of Canadian teens who responded to a survey said they felt climate change was impacting their mental health. Health Canada says about 1% of Canadian dental care plan members have been found to be ineligible for the program or assessed at an inaccurate co-payment level. The agency says the issue was a result of an error in how income was calculated for some applicants. About 28,000 active members who were found to be ineligible have already received dental care, but they won't have to repay the difference for care received before October 24th. The program was launched in December 2023 to provide dental care for uninsured Canadians who face financial barriers. More than 5 million Canadians currently receive coverage under the plan.
When you are fearless.
Finally, doctors are trying a new way to manage pain. At UC San Diego Health, singers and musicians are part of its pain management team. Recent studies show listening to music can lower the perception of pain or raise a patient's ability to tolerate it. No one is saying music can eliminate serious pain, and the science is still being studied. But what seems to help is when patients listen to the music carefully instead of treating it as background noise. With Health and Medical News, I'm Amanda Debison for The Lifeline.
We are on the scene now. Nova Scotia Music Week begins tomorrow. It will feature 4 full days of showcases, awards, and industry events, and it's all happening in Yarmouth this year. Katie Kelly has a preview.
Well, we're just one day away from this year's Nova Scotia Music Week, and I'm with Allegra Swanson, who is the Executive Director of Music Nova Scotia. How are you?
Oh, I'm so great. Thank you for coming to me. It's a busy time.
I bet it is. I know you have a lot on the go, but can you just start off by telling folks about this year's Nova Scotia Music Week?
Yeah, for us, it is so exciting to have our 28th year, and it is 100 acts across 3 days. Discover your next favorite artist you're going to see across the country, around the world. We have a 3-day conference for the industry, and we also have an awards brunch on the Sunday. I think you know something about that.
I do. I hosted, I think it's my 4th year.
I think it's your 4th year.
Yeah. One of my favorite events of the year is that brunch. And I guess on that topic, let's talk a little bit about the brunch. This is where all of the awards get handed out. It's so much fun happening in Yarmouth at the Rod Grand this year. I guess talk to me about a couple of the top nominees this year.
Well, this year leading the pack is Morgan Toney, a Mi'kmaq fiddler. He calls his music Mi'kmaltic, and gosh, he is just such an incredible performer. We went with him this past year to Folk Alliance, and he really brought the house down in Montreal. It's amazing to see him up there. And we also have KO, who has I think it's 4 nominations for KO, and just he's everywhere. And we're going to see them throughout the weekend, and you're going to see Morgan also performing at the brunch.
Oh, so fun! This year, the week returns to Yarmouth, which is very exciting. Talk about why it's special to have it in that part of the province.
Well, it's so important to us to move around the province because it's a chance for the people from that community to host, whether you're an artist from that community or you're one of the community members, for us to be able to bring that event to a small town outside of the tourist season, I think is really important. It's a chance for that community pride, and it also keeps us moving around too, and we get a chance to show our music from across the province to new fans.
Mm-hmm. It's so much fun for the music lovers, but also for the artists. I know you have a really cool lounge available there as well.
Yeah, we do. It's our 4th year of the Support for Culture Artist Lounge, so it's a chance for artists to go, and we have special programming in that space, mental health and wellness supports. We have amazing activations from our partners at Dairy Farmers of Canada. We've also got some workshops, like we have someone, leading sessions of how to warm up for artists, and we've got, childcare supports. It's really exciting. A lot of firsts this year, and we're really proud of the work we're doing in that.
That is amazing. Okay, so for people who live anywhere around the Maritimes that still want to attend this year's Music Week in Yarmouth, it's possible, right? And there's lots of passes available.
Yeah, so nsmw.ca, novascotiamusicweek.ca. We still have a few wristbands, so that means you get access to all of our stages across the whole weekend. But also we have day passes. If you're like, I can only get there for the Saturday, please consider coming. We've got day passes available too.
Awesome. Allegra, this is so important for our local artists and our local music fans, so thank you for putting this on every year and doing such a great job. And I hope to see some of you at the brunch on Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
As we head to break, let's take a look at tonight's primetime lineup.
With Crash and Sarah Beth.
Okay, tomorrow on the show, I'm putting a moratorium on towels in my house, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, plus we'll spin the move mystery wheel to give you a chance at a diamond bracelet with Spicer Cole.
On the markets, the Dow ended the day down 334 points. Gold started the day in decline after taking a big hit on Tuesday. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more on that.
Gold hit a high on Monday of close to $4,400 US an ounce. On Tuesday, it started to sink. The precious metal dropped more than 5% yesterday, which was the steepest one-day price drop in a decade. It lost another 1.5% earlier today before starting to recover. But gold has had a banner year overall, gaining over 50% as countries turned away from the U.S. dollar and towards gold as a safe haven. There's a long list of vehicles being recalled this month in Canada, from Toyota to Tesla and Ford to Fiat Chrysler. More than 100,000 vehicles are on the list, with recall notices for everything from batteries to brakes. Owners will get notified in writing if their vehicle is affected. And Tesla reported third-quarter revenue of more than $28 billion as American customers rushed to buy electric vehicles ahead of a credit expiring. But Tesla's actual earnings were down year over year. Tesla blames higher spending on AI research and development and fewer government credits as reasons. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.51. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 58.50. Western Canadian Select is up to 45.07. And the TSX is up 94 points today, but still under 30,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Time now for one last check on the weather, and we'll go to Kaylin on the weather deck. Kaylin.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. And here in the north end of Halifax right now, it is breezy, it is cloudy, no rain yet, but there will be some wet weather that moves through this evening as we see that weather front continue to come across the region. Let's take a look at a viewer picture for tonight. This is one featuring some spectacular fall colors at a Cardigan, Prince Edward Island. It was sent in by Sydney Roberts. I want to thank Sydney so much for taking the time to share this picture. Yeah, plenty of leaves on the ground there, but also still plenty holding on to the tree. Cardigan for tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, high temperature near 16 degrees. It's going to be a breezy day though. Southwest winds 20, gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Day planner for tomorrow, first thing in the morning, the bulk of the rain clears through overnight. So starting off the day tomorrow, partly cloudy conditions. Fog patches around the Maritimes. Be careful about some areas of reduced visibility. And morning temperatures, it'll be mostly in the range of the high single digits and the low teens. Now moving into and through Thursday afternoon, most of the region will be seeing a mix of sun and cloud. There will be some very isolated showers to develop and pop up for parts of New Brunswick, and a lower chance of a couple spotty showers around the Annapolis Valley, Minas Basin, Cumberland, Colchester counties of Nova Scotia, sort of the northern part of that province, and western Prince Edward Island. As I mentioned, southwest winds, it'll be 20 gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. That'll keep temperatures a little bit on the milder side. Most of the high temperatures for tomorrow will be around the mid to high teens. Stephanie.
Thanks for this, Kaylin. Coming up here tomorrow at 6, House Rules. Murphy's Logic looks at how the Nova Scotia government's supermajority is setting the House rules and the effect it can have on those who may not be paying attention. Steve will be here with a look at that issue tomorrow at 6. Finally for us tonight, an emotional homecoming of sorts last night for Brad Marchand. The Hammonds Plains, Nova Scotia native played his first game back in Boston last night after being traded by the Bruins last spring. The Bruins honored Marchand with a video tribute and a long-standing ovation. The former Bruins captain played 16 seasons in Beantown, winning a cup with the Bruins in his rookie season. Marchand says he was touched by the tribute.
I've been very blessed to play for an incredible organization and come through here, and the amount of the relationships and the people that I've met and the bonds that were created here were pretty special. So, yeah, I'm just so grateful for everything today. It was an unbelievable moment. That was one of my favorite moments in my career, so it was special.
Marchand ended up with 2 assists in his emotional return to Boston as the Panthers beat the Bruins 4-3. And that will do it for us tonight. I'll be back with our next newscast at 11:30, but for local news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's your home for news. Thanks for watching this evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow at 6.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast.